This is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have a messy looking system moving into the Midwest with some rain kind of clumping together there near the Illinois and Wisconsin border. We also have some chances for light freezing rain in mid-Michigan. I'd venture to say freezing drizzle at this point. It's not all that impressive, but any icing's not good, so watch out on the roadways. We're going to keep an eye on those chances for rain and snow and see how our temperatures are changing after this. All that's coming up as 6 News This Morning continues.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Power is now restored for thousands of residents after the Lansing Board of Water and Light reported a major outage in South Lansing overnight that might have been caused by a crash. Good morning, Mid-Michigan. It's Wednesday, February 26th. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Megan Vaselli. Thank you so much for joining us.
6 News is here for you now with this morning's top stories. The Lansing Board of Water and Light reported outages beginning around 9:20 last night that grew to more than 4,000 at one point.
The outages happened near Waverly and Jolly roads, which also was the scene of a crash.
Multiple police cars were on site and had a large portion of the area blocked off. 6 News later arrived on scene and was able to see one vehicle with significant damage as well as downed power lines. Neighbors say the outage coincided with the crash, though police have not yet confirmed the cause of the outage. The power was eventually restored sometime after midnight.
We're also following a fire that broke out early this morning in the attic of an Ingham County home. It started sometime after 2 on South Every Road in Vevay Township near Mason. Several fire departments responded, including Ingham Township, Leslie, and Mason. Our 6 News crew could see smoke coming from the attic, which is where investigators believe the fire started, although they're still trying to figure out how it started. Everyone inside at the time was able to get out safely.
The murder case for a former Michigan State Police sergeant will not go to trial on the scheduled date in April, and instead there will be what is called an evidentiary hearing in Lansing. Brian Keeley was originally set to appear for a final pretrial conference on March 19th and for his jury trial on April 21st. However, an order from a federal judge shows that both have been canceled without a rescheduled date. 6 News has learned an evidentiary hearing has been set for April 21st instead. Keeley was charged with second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter in the death of Samuel Sterling last year. Police say Sterling was running from authorities in April of 2024 in Kentwood when Keeley hit him with an unmarked cruiser. Sterling was hospitalized and died hours later. 6 News will keep you updated.
Tonight, Governor Gretchen Whitmer will deliver her 7th State of the State address.
She'll speak in front of both House and Senate lawmakers starting at 7 p.m. and her address will be aired live on TV.
Her office says she'll lay out her newest plan forward, which focuses on creating jobs, lowering costs, and continuing record investments in education. In a press release, the governor said she looks forward to delivering her 7th address, building on 6 years of strong bipartisan progress. Progress, she says, has cut taxes by $1 billion for seniors and working families, provided every public school student with free meals, and fixed a lot of roads.
Republicans in control of the U.S. House pass a big budget bill in order to implement President Trump's agenda worth trillions of dollars, and it's now heading to the U.S. Senate. The vote yesterday evening is a crucial step toward delivering what Trump has called his beautiful bill, with $4.5 trillion in tax breaks and $2 trillion in spending cuts. The legislation also increases border and defense spending by $300 billion and includes a $4 trillion increase on the U.S. debt limit, meaning the deficit is likely to grow. 0 Democrats voted for the bill. They've been warning for weeks that if this bill ultimately passes, cuts to Medicaid, nutritional assistance, and veterans benefits will take place.
There's growing concern this morning about a measles outbreak in Texas, where there are now as many as 124 cases.
It's the largest outbreak of this highly contagious disease the state has seen in decades. Jared Hill has the latest.
For a couple of weeks now, medical buses in tents like these have been camped out in parts of West Texas, testing for measles.
It is scary, but there's luckily a lot of good medicine and doctors out there.
Katie Edwards got her son checked after asking his doctor about a rash on his face. Her vigilance comes as the second largest state in the country sees its biggest measles outbreak in nearly 30 years. Public health officials say it started in a close-knit, under-vaccinated Mennonite community. Over 13% of school-age students in the county filed for vaccine exemptions in 2023, up from a decade before.
It doesn't take a lot of change in vaccine rates to cause an outbreak with something like measles.
The respiratory virus can survive in the air for up to 2 hours. Up to 9 out of 10 people susceptible will get measles if exposed, according to the CDC. Public health officials say one woman who later tested positive had traveled more than 400 miles to tour 2 universities and a tourist destination while infected. Doctors say measles first shows up as a fever, cough, and runny nose with red, watery eyes, then tiny white spots inside the mouth, and that telltale rash.
When you do not get the vaccine, that is when you have the risk of hospitalization and death.
So far, 18 people have been hospitalized in Texas. Jared Hill, CBS News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Outside, the Capitol camera shows the wind has changed direction a little bit, and that wind is bringing in some moisture, which is all we need to give us a bit of a mess for the morning. We have colder temperatures in place, so it's giving us the potential for some freezing drizzle and a few snow flurries now that it's moving farther towards the east. You look west and there's rain, so there's warmer weather to be had. We just have to wait for the wind to bring it in. And when that happens, it'll be clashing with the cold air, squeezing out its moisture and giving us that chance for rain today. We're starting at 26 in Lansing, so it makes sense that we have the chance for freezing rain. The warmer air is kind of like a wedge. It's getting in above the cold air at the surface. So it starts as rain in the clouds and then it drops into that freezing area of the atmosphere and it cools down enough to freeze. Flash freezing is a concern when you have the chance for some icing on the roadways, but then the rest of the day temperatures warm up to above freezing, so it should melt away. Captain Roger seemed to like the snow, but it's all gone for the most part. I've been watching as slowly Fort Forecast has dissolved into nothing. Trust me, we should do a shot maybe next week. I'll pop back outside and you can see the puddle that's left.
The puddle, yeah.
Oh man, that was sad. Like you walk outside and you see it and you like, it's just like,
yeah, it didn't take long either.
It took 2 days.
Yeah, because it was packed snow. I mean,
I
could probably live in there if the temperatures stayed the same.
There were 42 gallons of water in that thing. I was expecting it to last till at least April.
Yeah, I know. Nope.
I'm not mad.
Not April.
I'm just sad.
Late Feb.
Oh, well, maybe next year.
It's pathetic.
Coming up, the Jackson Fire Department just unveiled a new drone that will help first responders during a variety of situations. We've got the details in our What's on the Web segment.
All right, your time